Hi, Scorpio. So we are, instead of doing a second half of October reading, I'm going to do a Venus retrograde reading for all the signs. Kind of the same thing, except because Venus is going to be retrograde. It started on Friday the 5th, and it will go all the way to November 18th. Yes. So it will be for like spanning over a month. So really, this is going to affect everybody in very profound ways. I think there's going to be a lot of changes. Venus only goes retrograde once every 8 years, give or take a few months. But so a lot of times the things that have happened 8 years prior or 16 years prior or 24, 22 years that I really didn't. Oh, no, it's 24. I was like, am I counting that right? I am counting that right. Nobody ever said I was good at math. So you can kind of see that some things from your past during those like 8-year increments might be the things that are coming back for you to redo. Retrogrades are all about redoing things, reevaluating things. It's all about the, re-upping things. So things may come back, people may come back, lessons may come back, but retrogrades, it's not all bad. And I don't want people to think of it as bad, because it's actually a time for you to kind of make amends for the things that keep showing up. And if you have like a lot of internal battles and internal things going on, retrogrades are a perfect time to like bring that stuff to the surface and finally heal it and move on. So I actually enjoy retrogrades just because it forces us to dig deep, and because a lot of times we don't want to dig deep. It doesn't feel good, right? So the way we're going to do this is I will get an oracle card for some overall advice for your Venus retrograde. And what'll happen is Venus will go retrograde in Scorpio, your sign, and it'll go back into Libra. And so it'll finish off in Libra. It's retrograde in Libra. And then it'll go direct again in Libra on November 18th, and it will come back into your sign. And it will be in your sign until, I believe, January, early January. So Venus is going to be in your sign for quite some time. And we've discussed this before about how Venus isn't particularly super comfortable in Scorpio. But Venus isn't comfortable in Virgo either. Venus isn't really comfortable in Aries either. Like there are just some signs that Venus doesn't do well in. And it's kind of a double whammy that she's in retrograde in Scorpio and in your sign. So, let's see. For Scorpios, Venus retrograde. There it is. Oh, look at that. You guys got the Lovers card. Wonderful card for this. The thing is, with the Lovers card and Venus retrograde, this could be that person, that destined relationship, that thing that you just, sorry, there's something like just started happening with my eye. Like I feel like there's something in it. This is like that destined relationship that you feel like you have to be with that person, whether it's a twin flame, a soulmate, a divine partner, doesn't matter who it is or what the label is. If there is a relationship that's coming back during this time, it may be because there's a lesson that you still need to learn with this person. It may not in particularly mean that you are getting back together or whatever. There may be some more lessons that are coming up with this. A lot of times when planets of love or communication, whatever planet is in retrograde, typically, we say, it's kind of like when Mercury's in retrograde, don't sign on the dotted line. Don't make any final business decisions or communication decisions. So when Venus is in retrograde, we as in teachers and card readers and astrologers, will say don't make any final decisions in relationships or any work projects or creative projects. Don't make any final clear-cut decisions, because 4 weeks later, you may have a change of heart, like literally a change of heart, and be like, oh, wow, how did that? I mean, I thought that the feelings that I was getting, they were pretty cool. I was really into it. So, but the lovers, so the overall energy for Venus retrograde for you guys is really tapping into that energy, the divine masculine, the divine feminine energy. This could be about you balancing out those two energies within you. And when we do that, that's really like mastering yourself, mastering your emotions, mastering a lot of things. I feel like somebody is showing back up though. So we have the Empress. So you could be dealing with, this is very Venetian energy, very Venus, very Venus. So could be Taurus, could be a Libra, could also be Virgo comes up as the Empress a lot as well. Ace of Cups. So there's definitely an offer on the table. And again, the Ace of Cups could be, you know, filling up your own cup, knowing that you need to focus on yourself, focus on the relationship with yourself, really balance out that divine masculine, divine feminine. We have the Two of Swords and Judgment. So there's something that you're not seeing. And this is kind of what I meant. Things will be a little bit skewed. So if this is new, if this is something new that shows up, don't make any final decisions with it. Yes, you can have fun. Yes, you can feel the connection. Not such a bad thing. I think it's kind of, there's a lesson behind this though. There's something, it's like you almost want to get caught up in the lovey-dovey parts, you know? And then Judgment's coming saying, but there is a lesson here that you will be learning during this time. You do feel very, very pretty with the Empress. And I do think that this is all about mastering yourself and seeing what you need to master yourself within. But there's definitely a yeah, just something that you're not seeing with it. And it could just be that you're blinded by the emotions and blinded by the overwhelming love of it. You could be wanting, you could be hoping that somebody comes back to you because you're like, I have mastered myself and I'm ready for somebody to come into my life. And maybe it's not even somebody old. You may just be feeling that very Venusian energy. So we do have the Hermit. So you could be dealing with a Virgo. Like I said, the Empress comes up as Virgo a lot as well. Or this is a timeout. You may need to take a timeout and kind of just see what it is that you're not seeing, if you will. I know that sounds really funny the way that I said that, but it's Queen of Pentacles. Definitely an earth sign energy showing up here. Definitely an earth sign energy. So let's clarify these. The Empress. This could be the person that you want to show up, whether it's an old person. I mean, it could be like, I want the person to be like the Queen of Pentacles. I want the person to be stable. I want them to show up in a way that they can offer me something. I want them to be caring and nurturing and like very, very grounded. And so we do have the Page of Pentacles, which is an offer on the Empress. But this is also, you know, the Page of Pentacles is like a student also. And sometimes, especially since we have it on, it's almost like especially when we have it on the Empress, like a card like the Empress, it's almost a very timid energy. Like, I've really been working on myself. This may be you wanting to offer, you know, kind of like a small offering. It's not like the Ace of Pentacles. You want to start off as a friendship, almost a truce. I'm feeling kind of like this might almost be a truce for you. So Ace, Ace of Cups, the Sun. Things are going to really, I feel like you guys, I almost want to say you guys are like walking on the clouds, or, you know, I mean, it feels very lifted, like you guys are very lifted high up, you know. A lot of really good, I just want to like call the feelings really yummy. But this Two of Swords kind of is bothering. I like, it keeps staring at me. It kind of bothers me because I don't want you guys to get caught up in the feelings of everything and like miss something. Meaning there's something about the person that you're missing. Maybe you're wearing rose-colored glasses and you're not seeing their flaws, or you know, I don't want you guys to get caught up in like the emotions of it all. Yes, having this, it's a beautiful reading so far, but getting caught up in the emotions and then getting hurt 4 weeks later, like, I don't want you to end up right back where you were, right? See? The Four of Pentacles. I feel like this is a relationship that you guys have been holding on to for quite some time. And you're really, really, really either wanting to like message them or send, you know, get in touch with them, or you're wanting them to get in touch with you, but you're holding on to it for dear life. And I almost feel like there's something missing here that you're not quite seeing. There's like that lesson that they're supposed to be teaching you, or you're supposed to be learning during this time of not being together, and you're like missing the mark. Whatever that means for you, it could be that it's just not the right time. Or it could be that they do come back, they teach you that lesson, and then you realize, and things are very, very clear on how you truly feel at the end of the 4 weeks. That's very possible. With the Sun on the Ace of Cups, it's like, yeah, I feel like you're going to learn a lot of truths during this time, and I think a lot of it has to do with one particular relationship that you're either hoping comes back, or it's a new one that shows up. I feel like it's somebody from the past, and the reason why is this Two of Swords, because I feel like you've kind of been blindfolded and holding on to it for quite some time. If you don't let up with the Four of Pentacles, that Judgment and that Ace of Swords isn't going to be able to like come in, and you know, you've got to give the universe space to work. And with the Four of Pentacles, you're not giving, you know, especially on the Two of Swords, you're not giving the universe the space to work. And maybe it is time to retreat. Like the Hermit. Maybe it is time to retreat. That doesn't mean like sit on the couch and binge Netflix and eat like an entire gallon of Rocky Road ice cream. That's not what the Hermit stands for. Yes, you can do that for one night, but don't do it for the entire time, right? Because the Hermit goes to the top of the mountain with a very tiny light to become wiser, to recalibrate, to come back into himself or herself. Let's see. And I feel like that's kind of what the cards are saying, that they need you, instead of being so in your face and maybe like putting yourself out there, I feel like there's some kind of intuition or truth that you really need to know about this relationship or about this connection. And if you're not seeing it clearly, it's time to become the Hermit. It's time to recalibrate and not do it in an overly emotional way where your emotions and feelings are invading you. Like, for example, yesterday, I was driving all day yesterday, driving back home with my boys. And I dropped them off at their dad's houses, and I got really, really sad for like no reason. It just kind of out of the blue. And I mean, there's always a reason, right? But out of the blue, it just sort of hit me. And I was like, why all of a sudden do I feel like I need to like bawl my eyes out? And so I did. But I usually need to do that for like 15 minutes. and then I get up and I'm gangster again. That's the way that I do it. That's like my rule, you know? So, and that's what I kind of feel like. So either you want to offer something with the Knight of Cups on. This is like a lovey, 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 lovey reading. You guys are having the feels big time. And you really want to offer something either to a Virgo, or you need to pull yourself back and think, how do I want to do this? And is now the right time? Because honestly, with Venus retrograde, I almost feel like it's going to be impossible for you to not offer something. And it doesn't even have to be a Virgo. It could be any earth sign, since we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Or anybody, for that matter. Anybody that just is, you see, is very independent, grounded, stable. But I almost feel like you're not going to be able to help yourself. Like, this is something that you really feel like you have to do. To your natural instincts aren't going to let up on it. It's going to keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you until you do something. And if we don't take risks like this, then how do we know really how, you know, how a person's going to react? The thing is I feel like the cards are saying, really, really think about your truth. Really, really see it. Do you want to open up that can of worms again? Do you want to go back and try and reconcile, offer a truce, give, you know, and risk? And I kind of feel like that's what you're not seeing. Yeah, see, I think there's a fear that this earth sign may not take it well with the Knight of Swords. Because, see, here's you in your Knight of Cups glory. And then we have the Knight of Swords here. And they were facing each other, you know? And it's like you're coming in peace, but you're not really sure how this earth sign or this Queen of Pentacles or whoever that person is to you, you're not really sure how that's going to be taken. And I think that there's a fear that they might not take it very well. And that's where the feels are coming in. Because you really want to give, you really, like, you are, I just want to be able to give of myself to this person. Nine of Swords, see, and then the Eight of Swords. So the swords are getting less and less as the retrograde goes. But I feel like this is why I feel like the instinct is going to be so strong for you to reach out that you're almost not going to be able to control it. Like, you're going to have to reach out. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts here. And I think it's going to keep bothering you and keep bothering you and keep bothering you. And Ten of Pentacles and the Tower and the Five of Swords and the Moon and the Death card. So I feel like by the time the full moon comes around, things will start to get things will start to lift. And the full moon is at the end of October, and it's the full moon in Taurus. But we could also be dealing with, I mean, this is very much your energy over here. I mean, we have all sorts of your energy here. We have the Tower, we have the Moon, and we have the Death card. So the thing is you're like, I just want like the long-term stable happiness here with the Ten of Pentacles. And I think the fear of you not getting it is what is stopping you from, like, you're afraid to be hurt again. Like, you don't want to be put back in this Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, Tower kind of moment. But again, I almost feel like you won't be able to avoid this. And I almost feel like you are going to feel so strongly and in convictions that it could be by the end of the month, by the end of October, you're like, nope, I'm really, really feeling it. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and offer up myself. Six of Pentacles. Take that chance. Page of Wands, King of Wands, Seven of Cups, and the Page of Cups. So the confusion of once you actually take that leap and you start to feel very confident, it's like it could be that I feel like this person does something or you in some way you're feeling very diminished, and it's the confusion behind it. Like, and it could be that they don't respond to you or whatever happens to make you feel like you're so super confused that now you've really pulled into yourself and you've been diminished to a page, right? You're not feeling that Knight of Cups energy anymore. You're not feeling like the confidence of how you were, you know, I'm going to give of myself. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go on a new journey. I'm going to message somebody. And I feel like it's almost like their confidence level or the way that they act about it kind of makes you feel confused and like you're less than. Here's the thing though. We have the Ace of Wands and the Six of Wands. So I almost feel like this confusion is very, very brief, because then comes an opportunity for you to either be the bigger person, rise above everything, and actually like rebuild. Because the Ace of Wands is that like very passionate moment. And for me, wow, and then we have the Page of, or the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles and then the Four of Wands. Like, you guys, this risk that you're taking, and I feel like you're going to be feeling it more towards the end of October, like actually doing it. In the beginning of October, I think your mind's going to be like right now until the full moon. I think your mind's going to be really jumbled up on should I or shouldn't I? But as we get towards the end of October, you're going to feel a lot more confident, put yourself out there, probably send some messages, you're feeling it a little bit. And then if it's not the same person, this King of Wands character, if this is a different person, somebody is reacting to you giving of yourself. Somebody is reacting and it is putting you in a very confused spot. Now, and it could be that the earth sign or whoever the Queen of Pentacles is comes to you and actually messages you and is like doing that equal give and take. And that's where you kind of get confused and you're like, I'm not really sure what to do. This is an excellent opportunity for growth. And it's also an excellent opportunity for starting things out differently, doing things the right way, taking the much needed steps so you can be stable, happy. I mean, the ending of it, I think that you're going to want to take the risk. And I think that regardless of this tower, it's like all I want is the Ten of Pentacles and I'm feeling like I'm deceiving myself that I can get it, right? But I think that if you take this risk, even if it's a confusing thing for you, whether it's a person that messages you or you message them, I feel like it's going to turn out well. And it's going to be something stable. Or you're going to recognize something about this that you didn't see before in the Two of Swords, and that's where the clarity comes in. And then you can find your stability, whether it's with the same person or you're realizing that you need to move on so you can find that stability. Either way, I think that you might need to take the risk and reach out and find out, because I feel like if you don't take the risk and you don't reach out, you're just going to stay in the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And nobody wants to stay there. Nobody wants to stay there. All right, my darlings. So, happy early birthday for those in October. I know it's still a little bit before your season comes up, but that's what we're reading for. So, if you guys would like a personal reading, check out my website, fearlessintuition.net. I hope everybody's doing really, really well and having a wonderful October. And I'll see you guys for November readings.